over 2,000 Nigerians will be evacuated today. And it's not like what
But
happened to
Peter,
France
a
and
question,
other
question.
countries that actually evacuated their citizens via the use of aircraft. Here, it has gotten intense, and the only way out is to use vehicles. And one would wonder how many vehicles will be, conveying over 2,000 Nigerians from Sudan. And we've also been told that the route will be Egypt. Okay, to do this, I have with me in the studio Senior Lecturer of Sociology, University of Abuja, Dr. Lakunle Oluwaseun. A very good morning to you. You're welcome. Yeah, the Sudan is why we are here. Yeah, tell us about it. Why do we have this, after about 3-4 years?
The problem has been a long-time problem. And Northern Africa particularly is not really safe. And I equally see no reason why the Nigerian government will have to wait till this time before they evacuate our citizens. No, you are not even evacuating them by air. You are evacuating them by land. What about if explosives are planted on the roads? Then Nigerians' lives are in danger. It is a very sad thing that most times when Nigerians are faced with issues like this, Nigerian government doesn't really, respond. There hasn't been any form of rapid response from the Nigerian government in terms of evacuating citizens. If you take a look at the Ukraine problem, it took us a very long time before we managed to evacuate our citizens. Most of our students were sending short videos, lamenting, telling Nigerians what they were going through, the problems. Some of them could not even get what to eat. They can't get water. They had access to nothing. I'm sure it's the same thing that is happening in Sudan. The problem has been a very, serious problem over the years. It's just a little misunderstanding between two generals that generated into this problem. So if people are now suffering because two people had issues, you should know what it means. Because I don't even expect the issue to get to this level. But it has gotten to the level where we have hundreds of people dying. That means our people are not safe. It is quite embarrassing that the Nigerian government wants to go and evacuate our own citizens by land.
Yeah, because the airways are not safe.
What about countries that evacuated their citizens?
They did that before the war gets to this level.
Why did we have to wait till the war gets to this level? This is within Africa. Is France an African country? Why? This is Africa. In terms of war like this, African nations should respect themselves. If Nigeria as a country writes to the Sudanese government that, look, we want to evacuate our citizens, we have African Union, they are member of African Union. There should be some kind of treaties in such a way that when issues like this happen, African countries should be given preferential treatments. We are Africans. So Africans want to start killing Africans? We respect the whites, but we do not respect ourselves. That is sad. That is sad. The Sudanese government should give African nations the chance to airlift their citizens. Outside that, that is maximum lack of respect to other African nations.
Doctor, we have two issues at hand.
Okay.
Tackling the uprising or the crisis in Sudan. No one knows who is going to broker peace. Is what is expected in a situation such as what we have seen in Sudan. The AU, we really have not, we can't even describe the body language of the AU, right? So at this point, what do we do?
Peace is very expensive to maintain. Yes. The most important thing everybody should do is to avoid problem. Because you can only,
Yeah, but how do you avoid problem when the other person feels that his right is being infringed? When he feels that the agreement is not,
you see,
it's not
this
respected.
issue, as far as I'm concerned, is not even the issue of rights. Because the RSF, you know, they are more or less like a militia. What they are saying is that the Sudanese government should incorporate them into the army. But no government will want to do that. Knowing fully well their history, how they've been operating. Sudan is a country where I don't even expect Nigerian students or Nigerian parents to send their kids to Sudan to go and study. The Sudanese education is not in any way better than that of Nigeria. Not in any way. I challenge anybody who feels education in Sudan is better than that of Nigeria. So what is our problem?
Yeah, maybe the carrying capacity, you know, in the Nigerian system.
The money they use to send these kids to Sudan can take these kids to best private universities in Nigeria. Yes. So why are we endangering the lives of these kids? To broker peace at this point is going to be very difficult. Because this is more or less like a civil war. It doesn't have any form of external, you know, support. It is purely internal.
Yeah, but the arrowheads are known.
Yes,
They
of
are
course.
identified, and I mean, they can be. You can have a discussion.
The only set of persons that can broker peace are the two generals. But the funny thing is that the Sudanese military, you know, there is no country in the world, country of the world, that will want its military to be, you know, looked like they are not powerful. So it's a kind of power game. But the two generals are still the ones who can broker this peace. If they tell their fighters stop, they will. But most importantly, the Sudanese military, they should stop. They should be the first people to broker peace. They are the government. The government's responsibility is to protect the lives and properties of its citizens. I can assure you that if the Sudanese government, which is the military, stops, there is no way the RSF
Yeah,
will
but
not
will
stop.
that not be cowardice?
No. Somebody must shift ground. As far as I'm concerned, it is not an act of cowardice. If you and I are fighting, and I decide that, okay, for peace to reign, let me sheath my sword. It is not an act of cowardice. Not at all. It is just for peace to reign. Because if when two people fight, and nobody, you know, is ready to sheath his sword, the fight continues. But somebody, when you stop, people will now have the chance to blame the other person that in as much as also person has stopped, what is making you not to stop?
But you know, Africa has some, call them valuable persons that are respected anytime you talk.
Yeah.
You know, even our dear president is in that list. And then you look at the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, is of course on that list. And then you go to Ghana, you go to Kenya, you go to South Africa, and you have pockets of them, you know. At this point, it looks like they are delaying in actually, you know, stepping up to broker peace.
Yes. Because I've not really seen them speaking up. I've not really seen them speaking up. You know, these are, will I call them elder statesmen in their various countries. And they all are
respected
in the continent. You understand? Not even in the continent, in the world. There are places Olusegun Obasanjo will go to, President Olusegun Obasanjo will go to, and they will show him maximum respect. There are places Thabo Mbeki will go to, and they will show him maximum respect. And others. They should come out, speak from time to time, on a daily basis. Because as they speak, the message gets across to those in Sudan. They have their like minds. They have their friends in Sudan who are their political allies. They have people they have been working with in Sudan for decades. Speak up. If it means the African Union coming up with a kind of delegation that will go to Sudan, let them go there. People are dying. People are dying on a daily basis. And you see, Northern Africa is known for its extreme use of violence. Extreme use of force when it comes to issues like this. It's not like, Western Africa where we are still a bit diplomatic. These guys are not diplomatic. They just do whatever they feel they want to do, and nobody questions them, even within their own country. Take a holistic view of Northern Africa, and you see what they are known for. So the likes of President Olusegun Obasanjo should speak up. Even President Goodluck Jonathan is also respected. He has been going, up and down to broker peace in certain countries. So they should just come up. They need to speak. People are dying too much. Not until Nigerians start dying. We don't even know whether those that have died, whether we have Nigerians among them. So not until we start reading on newspaper headlines that 2 Nigerians, 3, 4, 5 Nigerians died. No, they should just speak up.
The fear is for what happened sometime in 2011, 2012, thereabout, during the Arab Spring, where at the end of the day, countries that didn't even engage in that war, happen to be the receiving end, where you have proliferation of small and light arms coming, and that gave rise to insurgency, banditry, insecurity became something that Nigerians are now aware of. Farmers cannot go to farm. If they do, you have to be paying to some certain persons. If you don't pay, you cannot farm. The issue of cattle rustling also came, and so the fear is, if that war is not stopped, what will be the impact on other parts of Africa?
The impact is going to be highly damaging. It's going to be highly damaging because look at banditry, Boko Haram. Most of the arms they use came through Libya. Came through Libya. We are towing the same path if they refuse to curtail this problem. Because arms are going to be shipped from Sudan to neighboring countries, to the other neighboring countries till it gets to Nigeria. So some of the African nations that are within this region are not safe. We have been battling with Boko Haram for many years. We have been battling banditry for almost a decade. And if you look at the causes of all these problems, outside we are having internal problems. These issues are exacerbated because of external forces. There is a Yoruba adage that says, if there is no crack in the wall, there is no way an Agama lizard will have chance to enter. So it simply means if there is a complete breakdown of law and order in such a way that the amount of violence is unbearable, other countries are not safe. The best we can do, in most instances in Africa, to be precise, we don't study the causes of problems very well. We are always concerned about the aftermath effects of those problems and how we are going to provide solutions to those problems. Forgetting that if you fail to address the causes of a particular problem, it will continue to occur. So we have not learned from Libya, from Mali, even from Nigeria itself. We have not learned our lessons Because we have failed to address most of the causes of these problems. Why is it that our leaders are power drunk? The problem in Sudan right now is the problem of power. It doesn't work anywhere in modern democracy where you see power being shared between the civilian and the military. It's what Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe called diarchy. Diarchy in the sense that there should be a kind of power, engagement between the military and the civilians. It cannot work. It won't work. The military personnel are confined to the barracks. It is only in Africa that you see military personnel on our highways, even on roads. They mess up, do a lot of things. No, they have no business with governance. Theirs is territorial defense, protecting the country from any form of external attack. Before you even bring military into internal problems, it must have gotten to its peak. But power sharing between the military and the civilian in Sudan is a failed process. It won't work, and it will never work. If it's going to work, the militias who are the RSF members will not be saying, bring us into the army. You have history of bloodletting. You have history of maiming humans.
Yeah, but you actually use them to get to where you
That is the problem. That is the problem
issue
in Africa. When you want to use those people to get to where you are, you give them maximum attention. But after you get what you want, with their help, you abandon them. The same thing applicable to Boko Haram. Most of these guys were used by certain persons.
and political talks.
Political talks. These guys have no way of sustaining what they were known for.
Yeah, no, their bosses have been sustaining them, and then all
For
of a
how
sudden
long?
they are now abandoned.
You see, there has never been any form of permanent sustenance for those guys. No, get them jobs. It's not just all about arming these guys, and at the end of the day, they use the same gun to attack you and I. It is sad.
Okay, we'll look at how we can actually tackle this situation. You have rightly said, the issue of being power drunk is an issue in the continent. We hope that before the program rounds up, you're able to give us what we can do to actually stick to the laid down rules, call it constitution. Yeah, but let's look at Nigeria now, the Foreign Affairs Ministry and the NITCON. Where, the Foreign Affairs where Mr. Geoffrey Onyema holds way, and then the NITCON where Abike Dabiri. It appears that there's no clear-cut distinction of their responsibility.
I'm very sorry to say this. Those guys have not been able to convince Nigerians that they know what they are doing. Yes. NITCOM is a parastatal under Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Somebody must be the boss. It is hierarchy. It is bureaucracy. I can assure you that there are well-meaning Nigerians that can evacuate our citizens out of Sudan. I read somewhere, but it's an unconfirmed news because I've not been able to confirm it. The Airpeace made a request.
He made
that they should give them the chance to evacuate the citizens. I don't think the Sudanese government will not listen to the Nigerian. No, there should be a ceasefire.
Because of that?
Because of that. African Union should come in. Okay, we are going to make sure this fight ends. But for this also period, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, please let there be a ceasefire. Let countries of the world evacuate their citizens. It is a normal thing that during war, you cease fire for people to escape.
No, for some activities to even take place, for shipment of food and all that.
There is going to be extreme humanitarian crisis in Sudan in the next few days. And not that the country is that economically buoyant for now. because of the crisis they have faced over the years. So we just have to let the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the NIDCOM DG know that they need to sit up. They really need to sit up. It's not all about coming on air speaking English all the time and, no. By now something should have been done. This problem is happening within Africa. It is not outside the continent of Africa. So how long will it take Nigerian governments? Nigeria is African giant, for God's sake. So are you trying to tell me Nigerian government will want to take something from the Sudanese government?
Yeah, but is it not the responsibility of NIDCOM to evacuate stranded Nigerians in any part of the world?
It is.
Yeah, so why the challenge now?
Then there must be a problem between the mother ministry and NIDCOM. See, the mother ministry does not give NIDCOM all the necessary need. How do they do it?
Yeah, but at this, why would the mother ministry, hold back some kind of support or assistance to NIDCOM?
It's just because we are not serious in this country.
No, we are, and that is why we are saying bring back Nigerians that are trapped in Sudan.
See, let me tell you, and let us be sincere to ourselves. If we are serious, what does it cost NIDCOM or the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs to sort out this issue in the meantime? So if the Foreign Affairs Minister feels he is the one to go there, let him go. If it is the NIDCOM DG that has the constitutional rights to go there, let her go and evacuate these citizens. They are also. And I'm sure their own kids cannot be in this kind of problem and they will be playing this kind of politics with people's lives. Nigerians, for that matter. The salary they pay them is Nigerians people's money. It is sad. He came online yesterday talking about they would take them through land, some roads and
through Egypt.
Through Egypt. Just imagine.
5,500 trapped. But today, over 2,000 would be evacuated.
Just imagine. So how many vehicles are you going to put on the highway to evacuate 2,000 people? How many vehicles are you going to put on the highway?
Yeah, but in this kind of exercise, what do you see? Do you see an engagement with the military or paramilitary? I mean, Nigerian military, paramilitary to, escort those that will be evacuated so that they will not be taken advantage of?
These are terrains that Nigerian military do not necessarily have knowledge of. And you can't just take your military and cross into another person's territory.
Yeah, for a specific assignment.
There are procedures. There are procedures. You must follow those procedures. That is territorial encroachment. You can't just take your own military and go into another person's territory. They will gun you down because they will see you as a form of threat. I repeat, what they need to do right now in Sudan is ceasefire. That is the only thing that will pave way for people to be evacuated without any problem. We have even seen instances where they will announce ceasefire and people will continue their attacks.
No, it was announced during the festivity, but it was not adhered to.
So, you see. So those are the issues.
Okay, as we attempt to round up the discussion segment, Doctor, what are you expecting in the coming days? We have two arrowheads, of course, the civilian, other than the name RSF, and of course the military. And we all know that the bone of contention is the economy, the mainstay of the economy, which is gold,
yeah,
in that country. How can this issue be resolved? Because if it is not resolved, Nigeria may be at the receiving end of the aftermath of the war.
They need to really talk to the RSF members because they are more or less like the ones in control of the gold. Yes. It's just like illegal gold mining that we have in Nigeria. When you go to stop those guys, they can do anything to you. They can do anything to you. So the RSF, if they really want to be patriotic, they also need to see reasons they should lay down their arms. But it is unfortunate that these are people who have been into this business for several years. They have no other source of income. If they stop, poverty will kill them. So they just need to find a common ground. Get those guys engaged. But I will not advise the Sudanese government to inculcate them into the military. They will infiltrate everywhere. And the problem will never be solved. Get them engaged. You can't just bring your enemy into the military. They will finish you. That's why most Nigerians over the years have been saying, do not make any mistake of recruiting repentant Boko Haram members into the Nigerian military. The Yorubas will say, Ki son fun were. Koshimama show sign like a madman that has been cured of his madness. You still see traces of that, madness in such person. So these guys,
they're not completely cured.
They are not completely cured. So you just need to get these guys good jobs.
Let them have a means
of livelihood, and I think that is going to go a long way in solving the
problem. Thank you for your time on the program this morning.
Thank you.
Viewers, this is where we wrap up this discussion, looking at Sudan and stranded Nigerians and how they can be evacuated. And it has been with a senior lecturer of sociology, University of Abuja, Dr. Lakunle Oluwaseun. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.